Hello, thanks for joining us right here on The Nation. I'm Jessie Cheah. Today's spotlight and focus is on, of course, another topic that concerns all of us across the nation, and that is looking at the population and the challenges that the senior citizens of Malaysia go through. Some call them the third ages, and some say, hey, they are in their golden years. Senior citizens of Malaysia, nonetheless, projected 3.3 million Malaysians will be over the age of 60 come year 2020, which of course we know is not too long away. My guests in the studio today are Mr. Cheah, co-founder and founding president of Third Age Media Association of Kuala Lumpur and Selangor, as well as Datuk Ayob, deputy president and the editor to the senior magazine and organizing chairman of the conference 2019 Years to Life, Longevity, Health and Wellness. Welcome to the show. Thank you for being with me today. Very interesting topic. Of course, we want to zoom into some of the challenges that are faced by senior citizens in Malaysia, as well as to highlight some perhaps possible solutions as well. To get this discussion ahead, perhaps you could explain to us a little bit about the association and how it's come about.
Sure. Thanks, Jessie. Yeah, actually, a number of people ask, what is this third age, this question about third age. So actually there are 4 ages. The first age is the time when you are born until you finish your studies. So that's called the first age. And once you start working, that's your second age. And upon retirement, that's your third age already. But third age is only for those who are still active and healthy.
Right. Between 60 to 80.
Yes, you can 60 to so long you're still active, But once
even 90,
even 90 as our Prime Minister, yes, of course.
So once you're not healthy, you become dependent, bedridden and whatnot, then your fourth age will start.
Right.
Yeah. So that's why we want to encourage people who retire to continue either working or engage in some form of activities so that they don't fall into the fourth age. Because now that you know that a number of retirees also do not have much savings, so they become dependent on either the children or the government.
That's right.
So we want to encourage this group to grow, the third ager. So that's why we call ourselves third age media. Media means we focus on media work. We publish a magazine called The Senior. It is available in all major bookstores. And also used to be free, but now one of the source of income is to sell the magazine.
Right.
So it's available in Kinokuniya, Popular, MPH, and whatnot.
You could just hold it up and show us the magazine as well.
Okay. Yeah. So this is a sample of one of our past magazine, and the idea of a printed copy of this magazine actually comes from our one of our founding member, an advisor currently. His name is Tan Sri Datuk Dr. Song Siu Hong. All right, in Chinese, I like to use the Chinese. And he is 94 himself.
Wow.
And 7-8 years ago, he approached me. He said, "Hey, Cheah," because we were in the Chinese chamber together,
right,
in the international trade, and so he said, "Cheah, can you help me to come up with a magazine for seniors?" Because at the time, many seniors, even though they may have a smartphone or a laptop or whatnot, but they find it difficult to read. They have to increase the size of the fonts and whatnot, scroll up and down. So somehow the seniors still prefer the print copy because they like the feel of the paper.
That's right. And also you could carry it anywhere you need to go. There's no issue about phone not having a battery or forgetting to recharge.
And seniors like collecting things. Like times when we collect stamps and coins.
Yes.
They like to collect magazines also. So I think it's a good idea, but I was very reluctant to start it. Reason is because I was worried about sustainability of the magazine.
Right.
So therefore, I sort of delayed it until 2016.
Here we are today discussing this, and of course
2016, he was already 92, 93. So I said, okay, let me try to fulfill this man's dream. And that's how it started. No?
Right, so the conference is coming up soon. It's called Years to Life, Longevity, Health and Wellness. Of course, these are the three areas you've chosen to focus on. What would you say are some of the challenges that senior citizens are facing, especially with the reality versus expectation upon retiring? I think there's a lot of, perhaps maybe disappointment as well.
Well, the topic was suggested to us by our partner associate, the UPM Geriatric Association. It's related to, in reference to the health of retirees and senior citizens, and also to encourage them to remain healthy, which is our aim, and also to ensure that they can still contribute, to more or less for them to realize that they can still contribute, and so they need to be healthy in body and mind. And in mind means they need to be reading and they need to be writing. And writing is one of the things that we encourage as well.
Right. You said, of course, that the two main concerns are health and finances. Where are we now? What are some of the exact problems that are being faced? And if you have any suggestions for solutions moving forward, whether it's in terms of suggesting that to the government or looking at how you can unite the voices of senior citizens in Malaysia.
I think in terms of health, like I said, one way is to make sure upon retirement, you get yourself active, whether it's having a hobby or still continue to work on a flexible time basis, or do something, to keep, as what Datuk mentioned, to keep your body and mind active.
Yeah, we've got
That's
the
very,
best
very
prime
essential.
example, the Prime Minister
Yes,
himself,
of course.
at a grand old age of 94, still going.
In fact, just recently he cycled 11 kilometers, around Putrajaya or Cyberjaya or whatever.
Right.
So I think he's a perfect example, of an active and healthy senior. So as far as health is concerned, maybe one of the ways is to ensure that their insurance, they're insured. That means from the time when they're working, they should be insured, so they would be covered upon retirement as well. Because right now many do not have their own personal insurance. So upon retirement,
or savings as well.
Yeah, even savings. So these two are actually interrelated.
What do you think the future of senior citizens look like in terms of improving or hope? As you mentioned, perhaps, you might even foresee that we could be benchmarking ourselves to a country like Singapore, where the law steps in to say children have to get involved with the aftercare.
Yeah, I think it's very essential because, as you know, children nowadays cannot even take care of themselves. Now, upon graduation, their pay is so little, and they can't even, at the most they can buy a car. To buy a house is almost impossible to some of them. So they can't even take care of them, and you do not expect them to be able to take care of their parents. So as a result, we always tell seniors, don't depend on your children now. The whole value system has changed. So you got to depend on yourself and ensure that you have enough savings. If you do not have enough savings, please continue working. Don't stop.
Right.
It's for your own good as well.
Yeah.
So we may be moving into the direction what is happening in Singapore, where we may have laws to ensure that children will have to take care of their parents. They must pay maintenance. If they don't, then the parents may take them to court.
Yeah.
So but we do not want to go to that extent if possible.
Yeah.
It's very unpalatable. So it's very important. I think we need. Otherwise, parents will be abandoned in the street.
Do you feel that medical bills and healthcare overall should be free for senior citizens?
Of course, if the government can afford it, well and good, including education, not only talking about because now they got plenty of time.
Yeah.
Why not pursue a degree or diploma or whatever, that they don't have that luxury at an early age. So this is the best opportunity for them, to pursue what they like, but they don't have that chance early on. because of the ample time, they can always.
Yeah, I think as far as chances are, they do have the chances for higher education or whatever. It's just a question of money. But personally, I do not believe in everything being free, because if things are free, people tend to have the attitude of then it's not important. It's not. There's no value to it or something like that. They should pay something, Otherwise, you have all this things free mentality kind of thing, or subsidized mentality, which is not good. But for the government, there's always the problem of how much to provide. Education should be available to everybody. The question is how much. And then for medical, again, medical health is important, so the facility should be there.
Right.
But then if everything is free, then it becomes susah lah.
I think you coined that quite well, susah. Yeah.
We also want to have less tax. We don't pay that much income tax. And then especially for retirees, pensioners, we don't pay tax. Then the burden falls upon the working people, the young people. Yeah. And it is, to me, a bit unfair.
Yeah, on that note as well, it's, in my opinion, a waste, because with senior citizens, you've got a wonderful pool of expertise, experience, knowledge, skill, maturity. How can we utilize this? Because some retirees may decide, okay, I might want to do a bit of work on the side. Some may want to start their own business, pursue their own dreams, travel, be with grandchildren. But how do we utilize this talent pool?
Now, in this respect, I mentioned our advisor, Tan Sri Song. He formed an association called the Expertise Resource Association. I think that was a brilliant idea, because these are the groups of ex-professionals, whether they are rubber technicians or scientists or even planters or whatever. They come together and contribute their expertise, and they form a collaboration with even overseas Chamber of Commerce, like Cambodia. In fact, Tan Sri himself is an advisor to the Chamber of Commerce in Cambodia and Myanmar as well. So they do link up with companies there and to provide consultancy services there, which I think is very good. So instead of wasting all the experiences and knowledge, so in fact he founded many associations, beside the Expertise Resource. He also founded the urban farming and rooftop farming, to get these seniors engaged. I think he's a very dynamic guy,
Yeah.
And not only that, he actually come up with his own personal money to fund the association, to start it off. Of course, after that, they have to take it up on their own,
Right.
So I think it's a brilliant idea, getting people involved,
Yeah.
and don't just sit at home watching TV, doing nothing, So this is a way to go, where seniors become active. Now, if those who are not skilled, they can do other things, I mean, just like in Singapore, the government, even private companies are engaged, to employ these people to do so many things. Even the day Eon Big launched a membership card for seniors, and I see that they employ a lot of these seniors doing packing of food, vegetables or whatever, even mopping the floor or whatever, cleaning tables. I think it's good, At least senior citizens, when they wake up in the morning, there's something to look forward to.
Yeah.
And not just
rather than that emptiness,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Which you said you felt on the second day upon retiring, a sense of emptiness.
Emptiness, yeah.
Yeah, with no agenda. Right.
But then you do sort of come to terms with yourself and say that, hey, I must do something.
Yeah. Or on that note, we take a quick commercial break. When we come back, more discussion right here on The Nation. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to The Nation. Still on the topic about senior citizens in Malaysia, some of the challenges they're facing, perhaps some possible solutions as well as a conference that will be happening soon. Conference 2019, Years to Life Longevity, Health and Wellness. Of course, these are three areas that the focus is on at the conference as well. I'm speaking in the studio here with me, my guest, Datuk Muslim Ayob, as well as Mr. Cheah from the Third Age Media Association, Kuala Lumpur and Selangor. And before the break, of course, we've been talking about some of the issues surrounding this. But moving forward, what are the areas you would like to lobby for to see immediate and effective change happen in the short term?
I think in the short term, I think it's more on the financial management for seniors. You know? I mean, like I mentioned just now, that many of them are without or very little savings they have.
But we have EPF.
Yeah, but EPF can last only for 2 years. So for some of them, in fact, quite a number of them are having. I think about 70. I think it was reported about 70% of them actually having less than 20. I mean, the 20,000 that. No, they couldn't survive even for 1 year, you know, especially if you're staying in the city, you know. So without the money, you know, I mean, how are they going to sustain, no? I mean, especially if you're hit with a major disease, cancer or, you know, whatever is it. I mean, there's no way you can sustain, no? So the government must seriously look into this, no? I mean, of course, other than continue working, you know, but by right, I mean, when you're retired, you're supposed to be enjoying your golden age and not supposed to be working, you know. Unfortunately, this is not the case. The reality is very different. You know? So the thing is, how are you going to tackle this situation now, you know? And the immediate one, like I've said, a big chunk of these retirees do not have the savings. So government must address this issue.
We need to come up with a framework that can guarantee a safety net of some sort.
Correct.
Well, we already have a system, and that is pension. Pensioners are okay, except that the quantum is question. So in terms for pensioners, which is you get your financial support for life, the quantum needs to be adjusted according to the cost of living. At the moment, it's not. So this is a problem for the low earners, to the extent that they just can't afford with the amount of money that they have. Overall, for the whole population, private sector do not have a pension system, and there are even talks about abolishing the pension system because it is too much of a burden to the government, which I think would be the wrong thing to do. Because we want people to be able to continue contributing to the government. Therefore, taxation system should not end when you stop working. When you are already retired and you are re-employed, you should still be paying some kind of tax, you know, contribute, not only your ideas and your experience, but if you're earning a reasonable amount, then you should be paying taxes as well, because it is, as I said, unfair on the working young people to be taxed to support the older people. But the mechanism of it, of course, has got to be worked out. But everybody should be contributing towards the well-being of the nation.
Of the nation. There you go. All right, let's zoom into the topic of the conference. Do tell us who are some of the experts that will be speaking, and what exactly do you hope to achieve with this conference? How then do you action the findings after that? How do you make that a reality?
Actually, the conference this is a second conference. No? The first conference we did was last year. As I mentioned earlier, that our association started in 2016, and our first publication was in 2017. We realized that sustainability of the magazine cannot just be dependent on advertisement. So that's why we decided to go into conferencing and also conference. And so our first conference was in last year, 2018, and we were very blessed that Tun Mahathir, the our Prime Minister, together with the wife came for the conference after we did an interview with him. And that time was more on seniors and technology, you know. So this is our second one, talking more on the longevity and health and wellness. You know? And we are doing actually in collaboration with Sunway Medical Center. And the idea behind this conference is actually to make it different from the other conferences which normally talk about you know, the pains and how you recover from it and whatnot. Right. We want to make it fun and enjoyable conference. That's why you have
fun. You have a laughter session, or rather a session dedicated on laughter.
That's right.
What's that about?
Right. Yeah. So we have a topic called "Laughter is the best medicine," and who's more qualified to deliver this program than Harif Iskandar, our very own comedian, stand-up comedian. I think he's considered one of the best in the world.
Yes, yes, yes.
So we got him, and he has agreed to come in and give this talk, rather a performance. And then we also have Mr. Donny Radford. He is actually one of the fourth platters singer. Tenor.
Right.
And he will be performing some some old oldies like Only You.
Classics.
So those classics, which of course seniors enjoy a lot. So we want it to be fun and enjoyable. And we also have a speaker from the Royal Society of Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, Miss Christine Chin. She's the chairman, and she'll be talking about animals therapy, how to use animals to help seniors to recover from their disease.
Yeah.
So it will be very different from the normal that you hear.
Sounds exciting.
And we also have music therapy also by some Dr. Indra from UPM. So we are going to make it very different from all the others. So that's why we encourage people to come and quickly register yourself.
Right. I want to share, of course, the website. That's www.thirdAgeMedia.org/conference 2019. So you can go to the website to get more information about the conference, as well as the association and the senior magazine. Also, the Facebook page is the Senior Mag, and I'm sure you'll be sharing information about the conference and as well as the association there. So, of course, senior citizens are very much on Facebook as well. Sometimes they are, trolling more on Facebook.
That day I was in the market, I saw some Chinese lady, elderly lady, and they were all talking about Facebook. I was wondering, what are they talking about? They were talking about buying and selling things using the Facebook.
Oh, there you go.
So I was thinking it's a fantastic idea, I mean, they're so innovative and they're so tech savvy, I would say.
What do you think is the biggest misconception about senior citizens or retirees or third agers, whatever name you want to put on it?
The biggest concern.
The biggest misconception.
That we are a burden.
A burden.
Yeah,
burden to society, that we are all down the road, that down the hill, and not be able to contribute to society, which is backtracking to what we talk about contribution by seniors. Besides experience and expertise, I think one of the very important thing that, as you know, nowadays in Malaysia, there's a lot of interracial, issues. We are not identifying ourselves as Malaysians, but we tend to identify ourselves as Chinese, Malay, or Indian, which is very unfortunate. So I think senior can play a role here. Now, during our time, we mix so well with all the races. We never talk ourselves as Indian, Chinese, or what. We talk about ourselves as Malaysians. So I think we can play a role by continuing to show to the young people that we have many other races friends, that we go out for mamak shop together and drink together.
I mean, that is very obvious.
We got to take the lead, the seniors can show. Because our Prime Minister has been propagating not only about shared prosperity, but very important, I think, is not only share prosperity, we should share our national identity, which is Malaysian. We
That's
should
right.
call ourselves Malaysians and not Chinese, Malay, or what.
And I think that's a wonderful summary to close our topic today. Of course, this is our National Month as well. National Day is just a couple of days away. So happy Merdeka to you and yours as well. And here's hoping together with the senior citizens of Malaysia who have contributed so much and still have a lot to contribute, that we move forward and be progressive as a nation. Thank you for coming in. All the best with the conference, and we hope that some of the topics that we discussed today do get underlined and underscored in terms of, you know, it being a solution as we move forward. That's all the time we have on The Nation. Happy weekend and have a great day ahead. We'll see you next time. Take care.
Thanks.